Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Professor Dr. Rebecca Fox from George Mason University, chief guest of this session. Dr. Muhammad Islam, Rector, University of Management Technology. Dr. Rauf Azam, Vice Chancellor, University of Education. Dr. Naveed Yazdani, Director, School of Professional Advancement. Dr. Farid Munir, Chair of the Organizing Committee. Representatives, deans, directors from various schools, presenters from abroad and Pakistan, faculty members, my very dear students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Before I was called, I whispered to Rebecca that now it will be your turn. And then I was expecting that I will have another breather of about 10 minutes to make up my mind. And then she said that no, she is speaking in the next session. So, and then I was called in. So thank you very much for inviting me to this session. It means a lot to me. I have had the experience of teaching courses on qualitative methodologies in this place for about, I think, 2 times. And I gained a lot of insights while teaching and talking to our participants, course participants. And I saw a great interest among the participants to undertake research based upon the methodologies, the array of methodologies available to them through the action research paradigm. And I was also greatly impressed by the outcomes of that course when I saw a lot of papers being presented and then improved and refined, and they saw publications in various journals around the world. We are living in a world which is highly turbulent, which is not stable, and where things are moving fast, and the rate of acceleration is also increasing. A world which is uncertain to all of us, and added to this uncertainty and turbulence is the factor of complexity. Things are complex because they are so interrelated and intertwined, and remotely, directly, remotely as well as closely, directly as well as indirectly, and immediately in near term as well as in long term. So we are living in an ambiguous world where it is very difficult to interpret something confidently and be assured about its authenticity and its truthfulness, that we have arrived at the right conclusion, and this is the fact. This is not just fact, but this is the truth. So to assign the value of truthfulness to any discovery or any conclusion is a very difficult task. And I also believe that the era of Newtonian research coming up with something which is so generalizable and which is so enduring and which will have a long-lasting, validity over a period of centuries and millennium. I think that era has gone, and if it is still possible, then maybe it is possible in the confinement of disciplines where it is matter that is subject of study, where it is the universal laws and universal the physics and chemistry, geography and geology, where these disciplines are subject of interest. So maybe still we can find out things which will have a long-lasting impact and which will continue to have relevance and which can be taken up as the truth and as a theory which can perhaps never be challenged or which could never be then refuted and improved upon, maybe improved upon. So we are in the domain of social sciences and management sciences and also information technology. We are dealing with a world which is emergent at any time, at any moment, and at any morning, which is changing and which is about human beings, which is about the society, which is about the relationship between human beings and society, and the forms and the institutions that we have created, like families, groups, neighborhoods, localities, state, provinces, organizations, business organizations, firms, and all those various kinds of virtual forms and networks that are coming about and consuming ourselves and enabling us to develop our new identities and new forms of interaction. So the exchange mechanism within our life that has come about in real and as well as virtual world has made it very difficult now to fully grasp the import and the totality of the behavior and conduct of human beings or their in any collective forms. So I think in the current scenario, it is very important, number one, for educators to be abreast of the latest, of the cutting edge, of what is there, what is just being there, and what is coming forward. So that is the kind of advancement that our students expect from our faculty members. I read somewhere that if we are going to teach our students what is printed in the books, then our students will not have any future, present, or past. I just can't recall who said that, but it is a very respectable quotation and an idea that should drive the content and curriculum of that we finalize for education. So what is in the book is certainly very important to us because that packages very well what was there before. But since the world has changed and world is changing very fast, so what exists now and what is going to come tomorrow is also equally important and perhaps more significant because these students will take up jobs in the world of work tomorrow and they should be good to discharge their responsibilities they should be good to discharge their responsibilities, understand their roles and the society before them, and figure out what is the best way to work in their lifetime in the years 2020s, 2030s, 2040s, 2050s. So how can we do that? How educators can do that? It is very difficult even for educators to know exactly what exists today and to keep themselves at all time at the cutting edge and also to envisage and foresee and to have the sufficient resources to develop their foresight for the future. So I think as a teaching method, we can rely upon action research, and here is the potential of action research. Here is something that can be contributed by action research. in terms of human behavior and in terms of society and dealing with the world of social science, which is the world of political science, sociology, psychology, social work, which is about media, law, governance, citizenship, and also information technology, and also in the world of management, which includes business, not-for-profit, and management of all kinds, in all kinds of situations, and in all kinds of institutions. I feel that what is going on in the real world, in the world of work, should be of primary importance. When we talk to practitioners, and when we talk to executives, and when we talk to professionals, they don't look at the books first. When we go to doctor and we share with them our problems, doctor would certainly look into the books, find the best medicine, what in view of the pharmacology, and will write the prescription. But when a decision opportunity comes before the executives, and when there is a situation that is dealt by professionals, they don't have time to go into books, and books would only carry very little significance for them, and it would be very hard even to find out the right book and the right author and the right thing that would actually be able to help them. So they are pretty much on their own at that time, at that moment of action, because they are in the arena. And the only thing that can work for them is their ability to reflect, is their ability to comprehend the situation comprehensively, and is their ability to refer to their prior exposure and experience and the learning that that has come about, and then making a judgment at the moment, and then finding out, okay, let's do this. This is the cause. This is perhaps the cause-effect relationship. So let's do this to solve this. And then each individual, each professional then move on, and then they also learn from each other. They go to professional associations, they talk with other professionals, they refer to seniors, they hire consultants for major issues. So that's how it goes about. So the world of work is developing, has found itself competent, and has developed capability to develop the theories and to help themselves with the set of choices, alternatives, and actions. And then that is how it goes on. So for school, with special reference to the School of Professional Advancement, where professional advancement is the mission. Of course, one way to do is to develop professionals and offer them the skill set that would be helpful to them, and to provide them of course, a quantum of knowledge that would develop their mindset and would make them aware of the domain in which they are going to work. But it is also equally important that we encourage our professionals and train them in the methodology of action research. Through this, by having training in this methodology, they would be, on the one hand, in the arena as a professional and making the decisions, but on the other hand, they will be within themselves, there will be another being, a kind of scholarly being, a reflective being, who would take up every situation as a next chapter in their portfolio of experience, and will define the situation, and will detach themselves and do a dispassionate analysis with objectivity and rationality, and reflect upon their experience, and then conclude the chapter with a concluding note as to what really then happened. what was the outcome and what was the result of what they did. So if our professionals can become expert and are trained in the methodologies of action research, they will be better at work. So that is the first idea. Second, our faculty members, our teachers, and I have seen that action research is especially very popular in the field of education. In fact, it found its first hospitable home in the field of education, and Professor Rebecca Fox would, I hope, that would vouch for it. It is, I think, very important for us as a teacher that in our courses we offer our students an assessment tool in which we engage them in small assignments, but basically drawing from the principles and the mechanism of action research. That will make our students very good. That would make our students more analytical, more reflective. That would connect our students with the world, with the practical world. And they would be, on the one hand, will enhance their skills and will see how to achieve more rigor, but not at the cost of relevance. So they will have both rigor as well as relevance, because we will throw them back to the world of work. They will go immerse themselves into issues, into situations, and then they will come back to classroom with what they observed, what they saw, and maybe how they interacted, because in action research you can be also engaging in participatory research, in collaborative research, and you can be part of that research. So there are all kinds of possibilities in action research. So I think that there is a great wisdom in this domain, in this particular methodology. And there are many other research methodologies, but somehow I feel that all of them contain a portion of or an aspect of action research, whether there is constructivist methodology or, unless it is purely humanistic or interpretive where you just looking at the published text. So action research carries a lot of weight and value for us as a teacher, as a student, as an educator, as a professional, as a practitioner. Universities today are not limited to just conveying what's in the textbooks. We are not the secondary, we are expected to be more than what publishing houses have prepared for us. We are expected to be our own publishing house, which means that we, as a faculty member, we have to take up the responsibility of management of the knowledge that we are going to teach. So we have to have ways to surface the private knowledge, the knowledge that is hidden, locked, and that is within the minds of the practitioners, that is within these corporate stories, that is within the professionals, and within the observational observational spectrum of our senior managers and senior executives, those who are at the helm of leadership. It's our job, our challenge, that how can we get that private information out and document it properly and make it usable and useful within academia, and make it would be a better textbook for our students, because this would talk about what's going on, what's in the situation, what's going on in the arena, and that's what we are all about. So I think that's a great beginning, that perhaps this is the first time that a conference on the subject of action research is being held, and I think it was someone has thought it really well to enlarge the canvas and talk about social sciences, all the disciplines of social sciences, and went on to include information technology, which I perhaps would never have thought of, and then of course the management research. Especially just a point about management research, there are many who are from the management discipline. Especially I think in management research it has come into fashion late after maybe education, but has gained a lot of respect and is now being taken up as a very reliable source of information, and especially in the era where we are dealing with mechanisms for organizational learning, for development of knowledge, for advancement of knowledge, for access to knowledge. I think we understand that knowledge is in the network, knowledge is in the mindset, and knowledge is in the conversation, knowledge is in such conferences, and knowledge resides in the reflection. So I think for management research, for those who are interested in doing research with respect to HR, organization science, organization theory, organization behavior, operation research, especially, and other areas of management, action research is a very good tool, and it's a very good learning experience. It provides a very good assessment tool, because its faculty would learn that how good our participants are in going to the real world, conducting a research, observing, documenting, reflecting, and then coming back and pioneering in authoring it and writing it. So I think there is a great potential for fast publication for young faculty members, that if they rely upon action research, they can get published. Because these situations which are here, which are in Pakistan, which are in the city of Lahore, around us, I think these situations will not be discussed by professors from Japan or South Korea or China or Europe or America. It's up to us. It's our job. If we don't find case studies related to Pakistan, and if our students complain that you are teaching here about the multinationals and global organizations, their strategies, which are located in Europe and originated from United States and or other parts of the world, then there is a moral question that how relevant is what we are all engaged in, what we are doing. So I think it would solve the problem of relevance, which is key to the success of education. It would solve the problem of boredom of assessments, because our students are too fatigued and totally disinterested in marking true false in MCQs, or doing an assignment or quizzes, standard norms they do in 40 courses 5 times in each course. I'm telling you, it's time that we get rid of those standard blackboard type of assessments, and we offer our students innovative, creative, collaborative tools of assessment which will make their learning interesting, exciting, and which will send them to the world of work today rather than when they would graduate. So they become at home, they would learn everything, and in the process our faculty can become good consultants, our faculty members can become good researchers, our teaching would become in classroom would become better, we would be able to write the textbooks. How many textbooks are there on organization behavior, on organization theory, on public administration, on governance, on sociology, psychology, related to the context of Pakistan? There has not been any serious outcome in terms of indigenization. We pay homage to it. We are all very much concerned about it. But why? Why there is no textbook? Because our methodology is not right. So I think if we promote this methodology, we will have the textbooks, we will have the research journals, our journals will be better quality, they would be more meaningful. There are so many journals coming up from Pakistani universities. I look all of them, and I feel that there is beginning. Yes, our young researchers are waking up, and they are different from the old researchers or researchers of my time, and they're going to the ground, and they are undertaking action research which is grounded in the real world, and they are coming up with their ideas and connecting those things with the theory as well. So this is a good beginning, but I hope that with the collaboration of such respectable, esteemed organizations such as Aga Khan University Institute of Education, University of Education, which is our neighborly, and I'm always very pleased and delighted to see Dr. Rauf Azam, who is always there, University of Lahore, another large university from the city of Lahore, and of course we are very blessed to have once again the presence of Professor Rebecca Fox, who is there, who is expert and a leading authority in the field of education, and there is much to learn from her. I am glad that she has made available herself to the not just this conference but a series of conferences. So I think there are 3 conferences in one ticket. So that was a really very useful for us that she has been able to contribute in not just 3 conferences. So thank you very much for taking the trouble of visiting Pakistan. We greatly admire you, and your presence means a lot to us. You represent the not just the country of the United States of America, but the people of the United States of America. We are just about to conclude very exhaustive 2-year engagement under the patronage of the State Department with George Mason University, where our faculty members went to George Mason University, got trained, came back and engaged in research, and we hoped for only maybe double loop learning, but I think Rebecca has found various other loops in various other layers, and it's going on, and I'm myself surprised to see how a seed work can then lead to a chain reaction and responses and initiatives. So thank you very much, everyone. I look forward to a very interesting conference.